Wife left me when I was caring for my dying brother. But when he made me a millionaire in his will, she came back crawling, with the same smile with which she once betrayed me. I'm 31, and this all went down last year. Honestly, it still stings to even type it, but maybe sharing will help me finally move on. I married Leah when I was 26. We met at a 4th of July party thrown by a mutual friend. You know, one of those nights you just know is going to change your life forever. She was beautiful, lively, and when she smiled at me that night, it felt like the rest of the world just faded out. We dated for 2 years, moved in together, and then had a small beach wedding. Nothing too flashy, just close family and friends. For a long time, Leah was my rock. Or at least I thought she was. We laughed a lot, took random road trips, stayed up late watching dumb horror movies. She was the kind of woman who would dance in the kitchen with no music on. She made life feel lighter. But looking back, there were cracks I ignored. Little things. She always needed to be the center of attention. If I had a rough day, she'd somehow make it about her. She hated being bored and had this constant, low-key hunger for excitement. I chalked it up to personality differences. No one's perfect, right? The first real red flag hit when my brother, Sam, was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Sam and I had always been close. He was only 2 years older than me, and growing up, he was my hero. He even taught me how to throw a punch after a bully knocked me down in 7th grade. When he called me with the diagnosis, his voice cracked. I packed a bag that night and drove 200 miles to be with him. Leah said she understood. She hugged me and said, "Family first, babe." But I could feel it, the shift. Her arms were stiff around me. Her kiss was rushed. At first, we tried to make it work long distance. I'd spend 5 or 6 days with Sam, come home for a night or two, then head back. Leah started making excuses for not visiting Sam with me. "Work's crazy. I'm coming down with something. I'll just be in the way." Okay, I didn't press. Then the calls started getting weird. She'd answer with a clipped "hey," like I was bothering her. She'd rush off the phone with excuses. "Someone's at the door. My battery's dying. I'm late for yoga." Yoga? She hadn't been to yoga in a year. The texts got shorter. The "I love you"s stopped coming first, and eventually stopped coming at all unless I said them first. I told myself it was just stress, that she was lonely, that we'd reconnect after Sam. Somehow, miraculously, got better. Deep down, I knew better. But denial is a hell of a drug. The first time I came home unexpectedly early. Sam had convinced me to go back and live my life for a weekend. The house was suspiciously clean. Too clean. Leah wasn't home. Her phone went straight to voicemail. I figured she was out with friends. But something in my gut twisted. It was the little things. A second wine glass in the sink. A jacket on the couch that wasn't mine or hers. A whiff of some cologne that definitely wasn't mine. When she finally stumbled in around midnight, hair messy, makeup slightly smudged, she looked at me like I was the intruder. "Oh, you're home early?" she said, that same bright, fake smile plastered on her face. I asked her where she'd been. "Out with Katie and Steph," she said without blinking. I called Katie the next day. Katie hesitated, stammered actually, and then mumbled that she hadn't seen Leah in weeks. I didn't say anything right away. Couldn't. I felt like someone had taken a baseball bat to my chest. The next week, when Sam's condition worsened, I left again. Had to. He was my brother. He needed me more than I needed to confront the ugly truth about what Leah had become. The day Sam died, holding my hand, barely a whisper left in him. Leah didn't answer her phone. Not once. I left 10 voicemails. She didn't call back until 2 days later. 2F*King days. "I'm sorry," she said flatly, as if she was apologizing for forgetting to pick up milk, not for abandoning me on the worst day of my life. Things have just been complicated. That was when I knew, without a doubt, she was gone. Maybe she had been gone long before that. After Sam's funeral, I came home to a house that didn't even feel like mine anymore. Everything was too neat, too untouched, like Leah had barely been there. Her toothbrush was missing from the holder. Half her clothes were gone. I didn't even need to check the closet. I could feel the emptiness the moment I stepped inside. First, I panicked. Maybe she had gone to her sister's? Maybe she needed space? I called. Straight to voicemail. I texted. No reply. I even emailed like some desperate boomer. Silence. 2 days later, a mutual friend, not even a close one, just some guy from Leah's gym, messaged me on Facebook. Hey man. Not sure if you know, but I just saw Leah downtown last night. She was with some guy. Looked pretty cozy. Sorry if it's not my place. I sat there staring at the screen for a full minute. Then I messaged him back, asked if he could describe the guy. He said tall, dark hair, tattoo on his neck. Definitely not just a friend. I felt something inside me snap. It was like all the denial and hope I'd been clinging to just shattered in one clean break. I didn't need more proof, but against my better judgment, I went looking anyway. The next evening, I drove around town. No plan, just a gut feeling pulling me. I found her car parked outside some trendy downtown apartment complex. Her car, the same one Sam and I helped her pick out when we got married. Still with the little bobblehead I gave her sitting on the dash. And then I saw her. She came out of the building laughing, clinging to the arm of some guy who looked like he belonged on a motorcycle gang's most wanted poster. She kissed him, right there under the streetlight without a second of hesitation. She didn't even glance around to see if anyone she knew was watching. Meanwhile, I was sitting in my car across the street, shaking. My hands were fists on the steering wheel. My heart pounded so hard I thought I might pass out. I didn't confront her. What was the point? She had already left me, long before this moment. When I got home, I found a note on the kitchen counter. Just a scribbled 2 lines. I need to find myself. Please don't hate me. Find herself, right, in someone else's bed. That night was one of the darkest of my life. I sat on the cold bathroom floor, still in my funeral suit, replaying everything. Sam's last breath, Leah's empty smile, the weight of being abandoned when I needed her most. I felt so f***ing stupid asterisk for trusting her, for thinking we were a team, for believing that marriage vows actually meant something when life got hard. The thing that hurt the most wasn't even losing her. It was realizing that when everything was crumbling, when I was drowning, the person I trusted to throw me a rope had turned her back and walked away without a second thought. I wasn't just mourning Sam anymore. I was mourning the life I thought I had, the future I thought we were building. All of it gone. The days after Leah's betrayal were a blur. I barely ate. I barely slept. I was a ghost haunting my own damn house. At some point, I realized I had to start sorting through Sam's stuff. He didn't have much. He'd lived pretty modestly, but there were legal things to handle. Paperwork. Bills. His old truck parked in my driveway like a stubborn reminder of everything I'd lost. About a week after the funeral, I got a call from a law office. At first, I thought it was some creditor or maybe something about the medical bills. I almost didn't answer. But when I picked up, a woman with a calm, clipped voice said, "Mr. Taylor, we're calling regarding the last will and testament of your brother, Samuel Taylor. We need you to come in for a reading." I remember laughing. Actually laughing right there in my kitchen. I didn't know Sam even had a will. He wasn't rich. He worked construction jobs, lived in a 1-bedroom rental, drove a beat-up F-150. What was there to read? Still, I went. More out of obligation than anything else. The law office was the sleek place downtown, all glass walls and fake plants. I sat there in a stiff chair, still wearing the same ratty hoodie I'd been living in for days, feeling like a stray dog someone let into a country club. Finally, they called me in. The lawyer, some gray-haired guy with tiny reading glasses, shuffled papers and cleared his throat dramatically. "Your brother left specific instructions," he said. "He wished for you to be the sole beneficiary of his estate, including all monetary assets and property." I blinked at him. "What estate?" I asked. He had a truck and a beat-up couch. The lawyer smiled like he knew a secret. Turns out, Sam had been sitting on a gold mine. Years ago, he'd gotten into cryptocurrency way before it was cool. Back when Bitcoin was just some nerdy experiment. He had bought a bunch with a tiny inheritance from our grandfather. And then he forgot about it. Until about a year before he got sick when he found an old hard drive buried in a closet. He checked it and realized he was sitting on a small fortune. The number the lawyer said next made my ears ring. $1.4 million. I swear to God, I thought he had made a mistake. I made him say it 3 times. I sat there staring at the table, trying to process the idea that my brother, my broke, pizza-eating, duct-tape-everything brother, had secretly been a millionaire. And now, I was too. He didn't want a big deal made of it. He didn't want anyone else to know. He just wanted to make sure I was okay after he was gone. In the letter he left for me, handwritten, folded neatly into the will, he wrote, "You were always there for me even when no one else was. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have this go to. Live a good life for both of us." I cried like a goddamn baby right there in that office. Ugly, gasping sobs that made the lawyer look away politely. For the first time in months, I felt something crack through the grief. It wasn't happiness. Not yet. But it was hope. Sam, even from beyond the grave, was still protecting me. Still pulling me out of the fire. It didn't take long. Barely a week after the will reading, after the lawyer transferred a massive chunk of money into a newly opened account under my name, Leah reappeared. Like a bad smell you can't get out of your clothes. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was sitting on the porch of my little rental, still trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with my life, when her car pulled into the driveway. Same car, same bobblehead. Different energy. I watched through the window as she sat there for a minute, fixing her makeup in the mirror, like she was gearing up for a performance. When she finally stepped out, it hit me. She was wearing the same perfume she used to wear when we first started dating. I swear I almost laughed at the cliché of it. She strutted up to the porch like nothing had ever happened. Like she hadn't abandoned me at the worst moment of my life. That fake smile was plastered across her face. The same damn smile I'd seen when she lied to me the night I caught her cheating. Sweet. Innocent. Rotten to the core. "Hey, babe," she said. Like she had just gotten back from a grocery run. I didn't say a word. I just stared at her, heart hammering in my chest. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to cry. But most of me just felt cold. "I've missed you," she said, reaching out like she was about to touch my face. I flinched back like she was about to burn me. "You look good," she tried again, voice syrupy and soft. I heard about Sam. I'm so sorry. I should have been there. I was just confused. I didn't know how to handle it. Confused? Right. Confused into some other dude's bed. She stood there fidgeting with the hem of her dress. Then, casually, like it was no big deal, she dropped the bomb. "I heard about everything," she said. "Sam left you something, didn't he? I mean, you deserve it. You're such a good person." The bile rose in my throat. She wasn't here for me. She was here for the money. Suddenly, all the pieces clicked into place. The fake concern. The desperate attempt at looking pretty. The perfume. She thought she could just saunter back into my life, flash that fakest smile, and ride shotgun into my new future. It was like watching a parasite trying to reattach itself to its host. When I didn't respond, she pushed harder. "I was thinking," she said, smiling wider. "Maybe we could start over. We had something real once. I know we can find it again. Maybe even build something better, you know? Together. Together." As if she hadn't already burned the bridge, pissed on the ashes, and danced on the grave. She even tried to lean in and kiss me. This awkward, hesitant move like she knew she was gambling everything on that one stupid gesture. I stepped back and said the first words I had said since she pulled up. "You're not here because you miss me. You're here because you miss what you think you can get from me." Her face flickered. Just for a second. The smile cracked. And there it was, the real Leah underneath the mask. Cold, calculating, selfish. "You're wrong," she whispered, trying to recover. "I love you. I always have. Maybe once I would have believed that. Maybe once I would have begged her to mean it. Now I just looked at her and saw a stranger. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I didn't throw anything, though God knows I wanted to. Instead, I just stood there, watching Leah fumble through her little act, feeling this incredible calm settle over me, the kind you only get when you finally stop giving a damn. "You left when I needed you most," I said, my voice low and even. "You didn't call. You didn't show up. You didn't even pretend to care." She opened her mouth like she was going to argue, but I held up my hand. "You made your choice," I said. "You chose him. You chose to abandon me while I watched my brother die." I could see the panic start to creep into her eyes, the way she shifted from one foot to the other, clutching her purse like it could shield her from what was coming. I didn't know what to do, she cried, voice cracking into a whine. I was scared, okay? It was too much and No, I cut her off sharply. You were selfish. It wasn't about being scared. It was about you always needing to be the center of attention. And when you weren't, you found someone else to fill the gap. Tears started welling up in her eyes. Crocodile tears. I didn't buy them for a second. You don't understand, she said desperately. We can fix this. We can be stronger than ever. I swear, You swore a lot of things, I said quietly. None of them meant a damn thing. I turned and opened the front door wide. You can leave now. For a second, I thought she might actually refuse. Her eyes darted toward the driveway, back to me, to the door. She was calculating, weighing her options, probably thinking about the bank balance she thought she could sink her claws into. But in the end, even Leah could see the writing on the wall. She tried one last time, stepping closer, reaching out for my hand. Babe, she whispered, voice trembling. Please. You still love me. I know you do. I looked her dead in the eye and said, the man you left behind did. The man standing here now? He doesn't even know who you are. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Good. Without another word, she turned and stumbled down the steps, almost tripping over her heels. I stood in the doorway watching her drive away until her taillights disappeared around the corner. I closed the door and locked it, both literally and metaphorically.